Hello, namaskar viewers. I am Sanjeev Pandya welcoming you to the another edition of the Business Talk with AJ. This weekly show brings you all the latest from the world of business that you need to know right here on your favorite TV channel. That's ITV Gold. Happy to be with you once again and so excited to bring you all the latest business stories that you need to know. Once again, this show, The Business Talk with AJ, courtesy of Sai CPS Services, a full-fledged accounting firm right here in state of New Jersey, but they do business all over the nation. So wherever you are watching the show, and if you have any question, if you need to know anything about your personal taxes as well as corporate taxes, do reach out to Sai CPS Services, because when it comes to accounting, bookkeeping, payroll, any tax advice or even business setup advice, they do it best, and that's why they have large clientele, and they will definitely guide you in the right direction. That's what Sai CPS Services is known for. You can reach them at 908-380-6876 or saicpsservices.com. With that note, I'd like to welcome Mr. AJ Kumar of Sai CPS Services with over 25 years of experience when it comes to accounting and the business and the management, who brings his own perspective in this show, The Business Talk with AJ. Good to have you once again, AJ.
Thank you, Sanjeevji. I appreciate the introduction.
Yes.
And we look forward to add a lot of value, bring a lot of great news for our ITV Gold viewers.
And we always do that, and we also appreciate your input in that, because week after week. And viewers, one more thing that I really want to know, that AJ always says that in this show you will find the stories where you may have missed. Yeah, definitely we bring the most important stories, the highlight of it, but there are some stories that you may have missed it somewhere, and you will find it in our show. That
Absolutely.
is one more good thing about our show. With that note, let's move on, and we always start with Dow Jones Industrial Average, because stock market, it's a how do I say, the psychological thing. When stock market is up, everyone's happy, saying the stock market is doing well. But when the stock market is down, everyone gets scared, and everyone comes out with their own analysis of inflation and the recession and the future of the country and whatnot. And that's exactly what's happening.
Absolutely, Sanjeevji. So stock market lost another 700 points last week. When the market news came, the retail sales were lower than expected in the month of November. When we saw the retail sales report for the prior month, suddenly the stock market went down. Tesla showed the lowest stock price ever for last 52 weeks. Now, you will see in the news, one day people are talking about recession, and next day people are saying the market is doing okay and the CPI is increased or the inflation is going down. You have to know as a consumer that the situation is very volatile. One day the stock is up with slight change in the news when the federal government increased the rate by 0.5%, 50 basis point. That's the 7th increase this year.
Yes.
That has a lot of impact on the stock market, on your general consumer prices. Say the credit card rate will increase, all the mortgage rate that are based on the prime rate will increase. Now the prime rate itself is 7.5%. In these kind of situation, it becomes very expensive for the small business, for people to take loan to buy vehicle or to make the large purchases. That has a cumulative effect on the cash that's there in the market. So in these kind of situation, you have to stay away from the stock market. You don't really know how the stock market is reacting. Unless you know, unless you understand it, stay away from it. Avoid the large purchases for the time being if you can, for the next 3 or 4 months until the federal government comes back and try to ease down the rate. We are expecting another increase, maybe 25 basis point, maybe 50 basis point in January, but that will be the last increase that we are expecting in the near future.
Yes, and a good sign was that this last increase a couple of days ago was only half a percent point. So that's a good thing. And the next one, if that happens in January, just like AJ says, it could be 0.25% in order to stable the economy. All right, so that's the stock market news. It's been volatile. I know holiday season brings mixed results on the stock market, but this year, of course, we are in a holiday season, and we got about 15 days to go before the new year comes in. So let's see that how stock market ends up. But we'll continue to give you update in our show every week. Now, when it comes to stock market, obviously lately Tesla has been in the news, and that's because of Twitter, and that's because of the owner of Twitter and the Tesla. That's Mr. Elon Musk. Elon Musk just uploaded millions of stocks in order to get some $44 billion, or I'm sorry, close to $39.6 billion for Twitter.
Absolutely. So this Twitter purchase had negative impact on other businesses
Yeah.
that Elon Musk owned. So including Tesla. So people have lost confidence. And the biggest part is when the owner of the company, when the shareholder of the company are selling their own shares. So Elon Musk liquidated 0.5% of his own shares. So that gives an impression in the market that it may be the right time when you don't believe in your own stocks, how the consumer, how the investor will believe in your stock. And that created a frenzy of selling the Tesla stocks. Tesla value has gone down by $132 billion. A lot of big banks, a lot of investment companies have lost a lot of money, not just Elon Musk. Vanguard, T. Rowe Price, BlackRock, a lot of big investors were investing into Twitter, Tesla. Tesla is the new upcoming electric vehicle car. A lot of people believed in the concept. A lot of people we know that this is the future. In 10 years, in California, starting 2035, all new vehicles will be electric vehicles.
It's only EV vehicles, and soon you will see a lot more. Actually, EV vehicle sales is much higher this year in
Absolutely.
2022 than they expected. So you're going to see EV vehicles, more EV vehicles on the road sooner than you had expected. You mentioned Vanguard. Vanguard is the second largest shareholder in Tesla.
Absolutely.
They own 6.7%. Elon Musk owned at the beginning of December 14.1%, but after selling his stocks and get $40 billion, he's now at 13.6%. He's still
Absolutely.
the largest owner. Now, AJ, when you say this is good. That's a good point that you brought in there. When the owner, the founder sells the stocks of his own company, sends a negative signal. But in this case, Elon Musk, purchased Twitter, and we know Twitter is a fiasco. That is a bad deal that he has made. I don't know how he looks at that it's a good deal for him. Everyone else, all the experts, all the pundits, all the strategists and analysts saying this is a really bad deal. He paid too much money for Twitter. So now, obviously, Tesla stock grew a lot in last 3 to 5 years, right? So he's basically cashing out because he needs to feed money into the Twitter in order to run Twitter, and he's focused on Twitter. But don't forget, he's got SpaceX also. SpaceX is worth some $130 billion. So there you have it. But the negative impact of this deal is the Vanguard and the T. Rowe and the other one is State Street Global Advisors. Those are the investors. They and their shareholders are taking hit.
Absolutely. So a lot of money that you are investing into retirement accounts. Retirement accounts, Vanguard, T. Rowe Price, BlackRock, based on your age portfolio, based on how you decide aggressive versus moderate, the bank is deciding how to invest money, where to invest money. And when companies like this type of situation, Tesla happens or Twitter happens, everybody in the market suffers. That's why people are scared that their total portfolio value has gone down substantially. You do not have to buy Tesla stocks directly. When you invest money with Vanguard, BlackRock, T. Rowe Price, as a part of the portfolio, these investment banks are investing money on your behalf. So when they lose the money, it's not their money. It's the general consumer like me and you who are losing the money.
All right. Okay, let's move on to the next one now. Talk about inflation, because inflation also comes in the picture when you talk about stock market down and a lot of millions of stocks are being sold. Inflation. According to a New York Fed survey, consumers see inflation is going to be considerably less into the new year 2023. So this is what consumers feel like it, and it's opposite to what expert feels like, because we just talk about Vanguard, second largest shareholder in Tesla. They predicted that we're going to go into inflation,
into recession,
in a recession in the next year. And here consumers see they are actually more optimistic about inflation.
Well, and there are good reasons to be. See, initially they said the inflation is about 5.9%. Now the prediction is the inflation is around 5.2%, 0.7%. It may not sound much to you, but it's 10%, more than 10% reduction than what they were thinking earlier. Now, the key here is what you need to understand: when the inflation is 5.2% and the prime rate is 7.5%, it means government is trying to artificially inflate the price, inflate the borrowing rate. The lenders are going to be giving you money at a more expensive rate than the inflation demand. Inflation and the borrowing should be similar in the right range. But when you have 5.2% of the inflation and 7.5% the prime rate, this is the right time for you to be preserving the cash. By preserving the cash, you can have more value for your dollar tomorrow when they come back in the right line.
Absolutely. So this is, let's see what happens. Let's see who actually is more right, consumers or the experts. We'll see at the end of the day. Now, AJ, obviously you are the expert in accounting and taxes and everything. Your own firm, Science CPA Services, which is favored by hundreds of thousands of clients that you have. Can IRS release the taxpayers' information? Is it possible? It's something called ProPublica series where they release, the millionaires and billionaires list of how much money they made in taxes. Is it possible?
Well, yes and no. So IRS does not have the right to release anybody's information unless they are expected to, unless they are asked to do it. So all non-for-profit companies, information is public information. When you file their taxes, who were the biggest donor, how much money the non-for-profit company collected. So companies like ProPublica, these companies are in the business to present us the information on internet. So anybody can search who is making money, who is...
And the ProPublica gets information from IRS?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's all legal for non-for-profit companies. What's not legal is releasing somebody's personal information. Say how much money AJ Kumar made, how much money Sanjeev Pandya made. This is not supposed to be there. So when IRS somehow by mistake released the information on Ken Griffin,
yes,
a billionaire, and they found it on the internet, and thank God, he is one of the top tax-paying person. He's a billionaire.
Hedge fund billionaires. So hedge fund billionaires are loaded with money.
Absolutely. But the good thing is, it's not one of those Trump case where they made billions of dollars and did not pay any taxes. Mr. Griffin is seen as the number 2 highest taxpayer in this country. So the good thing that goes in his favor, and that's the reason he's filing a case against IRS, against the US Treasury, that his information was released on ProPublica by mistake, or it was not supposed to be there. But what goes in Mr. Griffin's favor, that he's not hiding anything, or at least in theory, he's paying a lot of taxes on the money that he's making.
So now here's the thing. Okay, by mistake, somebody goofed up and somebody gave it. And Ken Griffin is not the only one. There's a list of millionaires and billionaires. Ken Griffin happens to be the big name because it's a hedge fund investor and then a hedge fund guy. And it says that Griffin reported an average income of $1.7 billion from 2013 to 2018. He paid taxes, just like AJ says. He's a very, very sincere taxpayer. He's not hiding, not cheating. So that's not the point. But Griffin, I guess, wants to teach a lesson to IRS. And that's why it's suing.
I think it's more political. If you think about it, Mr. Griffin is one of the top donor for the Republican Party.
Yes,
and Republican Party is in power now. So they have certain controls. Now the Congress can push IRS. They can add some pressure. I believe if Democrats were in power, it wouldn't be the same thing. This wouldn't become the news.
Yeah.
So a lot of this is public.
But how it's going to resolve, I don't know. First of all, what kind of price tag would you put on this lawsuit? How much is going to be seeking? I mean, he's a billionaire anyway.
Well, I don't think it's about money. I think it's more about proving a point. I mean, when you are already paying so much taxes and you are not going for a public office, you are not in any public position, hiding the information or not hiding the information does not have that sort of impact. I mean, if Trump's information goes out to the public and everybody finds out that he did not pay taxes or he did pay taxes,
that's a different thing.
That could be different. That could have that could destroy the public image. In this case, it's less about money. It's more about I'll teach you a lesson.
All right. Quickly, I just want to add that this gentleman, billionaire Ken Griffin, was the second largest donor to Republicans in a midterm election just recently, which ended, right? Spending $60 million on federal elections. So, he's taking on the IRS to protect Americans' privacy and to make sure similar leaks don't happen to others in the future. That's what I'm saying, that he wants to teach them a lesson.
The biggest news is that in Illinois, when they were trying to change the state laws, which could have costed Mr. Griffin $50 million a year, additional taxes, he fought against it, he won against it, and he invested through political parties $54 million to fight against the new law that the Illinois government was trying to put, and he was able to avoid it.
All right, so these are the interesting stories. And with that note, we come to an end of the first half of the Business Talk with AJ show. When we come back, we're going to have a lot more interesting stories from around the world when it comes to business in our show. Please stay with us. Welcome back to the second half of the Business Talk with AJ show right here on ITV Gold. I am Sanjeev Pandya, and of course the Business Talk with AJ is for Mr. AJ Kumar of Science CPA Services. This weekly show brings you all the latest that you need to know from the world of business, and that's a courtesy of Science CPA Services. And of course, as I mentioned, that for your personal professional taxes, corporate taxes, or even if you want to start a business next year and you want to know what kind of company that you need to set up, Science CPA Services will guide you. And as we are in almost like middle of December, we still have 2 weeks to go before the year 2023 comes in. You need to know where you need to invest money. Where should you be investing money in order to save taxes? Again, it's all about doing taxes right, and Science CPA Services always believes in that. That's their motto, that's their mantra, and they pass it on to their clients to do their taxes right, and that's why they can advise you right to save money, to invest money somewhere where you can save money on the taxes. Once again, they can be reached at 908-380-6876 or sciencecpaservices.com. With that note, it's time for us to let you know about the currency rates between US dollar and Indian rupee.
Absolutely, Sanjeevji. So the currency, the dollar is getting weaker, rupees is getting stronger. Last week, we saw 82.7 per dollar, per US dollar as the Indian rupees rate. We are expecting this to go down in next 30 days, but our next 90-day forecast is that it could be higher, up to 84.5. So you have to look at your situation. If you are the one who is sending money from US to India, this may be the right time in the short term to send money sooner. But if you can wait for 90 days, we are expecting the rate to be increasing to as much as 84 or 84.5 in that range.
Right. Very good. Thank you for that information. I guess the gold price remains the same.
Absolutely. Gold prices are around $1,700 per pound. Per ounce, I'm sorry, and then it seems to be
per pound.
Absolutely, it will be really, really nice. So it's going to remain like that in the near future. Based on the season, you will see slight fluctuation. When you see the marriage season or when you see the festival season, the gold price seems to inch up a little bit, but we are not expecting huge fluctuation in the near future, in the near 6 months to 1 year horizon.
All right, now what we are expecting is we don't know. But the story that we're about to bring you, 99% I'm sure that you must have missed it wherever you are getting your business stories, but that's an interesting story. Now, what's going to happen in April of 2023 when this father and son are going to be sentenced? That we will see. So far, as of now, they have been found guilty. I am talking about father and son living in Watertown, Massachusetts, and their names are Ali Jaffer, who is 63 years old, and his son Yusuf Jaffer, 29 years old. This father and son, they've been found guilty in lottery scam. So AJ, to be honest with you, I really don't know how this lottery scam works, but what I have read so far is that they collected some $14,000 winning lottery tickets from other people, and they mentioned on their tax return that they won the lottery, and they collected money, and then they also ended up hiding the money in order to save taxes on a federal tax, and that's how they were caught. And you take it from here and give us your insight.
Absolutely, I'm glad you asked. So at a high level, the scam is based on the tax saving. So when you win a lottery, let's say $400,000, you will typically be in around 40% tax bracket between the federal taxes added to the state taxes. So a lot of these lottery tickets are purchased in the market. You can win a lottery and sell the lottery ticket, which is illegal, by giving you 10%, to 20% discount. Let's say if you have a lottery of $100,000, the ticket, you can sell the ticket to somebody and get $80,000 cash from them. Now, you got the $80,000 cash, it's not your lottery ticket, so you don't have to show it your tax return because it's not under your name. You got the money and you don't have to do anything. So the saving that you have, that you got $80,000, not 60. If you were to show it on your tax return, you would pay $40,000 in taxes and your net saving is $60,000. Now the person in this example, Ali Jafar and Yusuf Jafar, what they were doing, they will buy these tickets and then they will show on their tax return large gambling losses. You can have the lottery winning offset against the gambling losses because they are both considered as gambling. So they will not pay any tax on this $100,000 in our example, but by showing $100,000 of gambling losses. So in that case, they don't pay any taxes. They got $100,000 by paying $80,000. So Mr. Jafar is saving $20,000 in this example, and the person who won the lottery is also saving $20,000. But this $40,000 is actually coming from the IRS pocket and the state pocket. So when the government sees somebody winning 14,000 times,
lottery tickets, come on, yeah.
I mean, I know some people are luckier than others, but there's a limit to everything.
How silly can you get? How silly can you get?
Well, it's greed.
It's a greed. Yes, I know
there
that.
There comes a point when you just go too far, and that's why a lot of people get into trouble.
$20 million. Viewers, this all adds up to $20 million. This is just simply unbelievable scam. And, in this multi-million-dollar scheme, obviously, IRS would definitely put a red flag on their tax return. There are 14,000 winning tickets.
It was discovered by the state because IRS only sees the income. The actual lottery money comes from the state, and it has to be reflected on the social security number. So they see that this person is winning again and again and again. Holy crap, he won 14,000 times. There must be something wrong here. And that's how the investigation started.
They say that you really need to use your common sense. So, even though you're a con artist and you're cheating and, you really need to use your common sense. And if there is nothing, maybe you should take a lesson from the past president, see how he has done it.
Absolutely.
By the way, his tax returns are now with Congress.
Yes.
And
they're not with public. They're not
No, they're not with
yet.
public, obviously, but they are with, because Congress demanded that. So
Absolutely.
I'm talking about President Donald Trump's tax returns, because everywhere he stopped, tax returns to be released, and all the states and all the judges, they overturned that, and now with the Congress, and in future, little by little, information will start coming out. You watch, and that's going to be interesting. All right, what's going to be more interesting? I have no idea what to say. Interesting, intriguing, or just amazing, unbelievable. Whatever adjectives I can put on, I will do that. It's about Prince Harry's show on Netflix. And that has created so much uproar that, second part is due any day. Maybe by the time you watch the show, the second part is going to be out there. But the first part had the highest ratings in Netflix documentary series.
Absolutely. So Harry and Meghan series, if you have not seen it, please check it out. It's on Netflix. There's a lot of talks about this series. It seems to be a lot of these things that they included are actually true. They're talking about the current king of Britain.
No, and then a part of the deal is that Prince Harry must tell the truth, what happened.
Absolutely.
He's exposing his father and his family members, because apparently when Prince Harry and Meghan decided to leave the royal family, they had a summit. Summit is what they call meeting. That's what they call a summit. And Prince Harry says that his elder brother, Prince William, shouted at him at the summit. And then whatever Prince Charles said publicly what happened in the summit, Prince Harry says that's not true, that didn't happen.
Absolutely. And there were a lot of discussions about the King Charles.
Yes,
that a lot of times he did not really tell the whole truth, or did not really tell the truth. So it's going to be interesting.
I think this guy, Prince Harry, is creating a lot of controversy. I'm telling you. No, maybe, something needs to be checked out on him. I know he listens to Meghan. Whatever Meghan says, that's exactly what he says. He is the perfect husband for any woman that you want to have in the world, right? And Meghan is the one really controlling Prince Harry. And he is just yapping all this. You can't reveal these secrets.
Well, I'm not sure. It's not smart
but
to be revealing the family secrets when it comes to family, the elder brother and the parents, the father, who is the king now.
And you know what? People are having fun because obviously they find this, everyone loves gossip talk and a water cooler conversation and whatnot. And especially Britishers are the number one. Their tabloids, The Sun and the other tabloid, I just forgot the name of it, right? They all have this kind of inside stories, and they find it very interesting. Just like in the US, we have a magazine called Globe. You go to a supermarket and you're standing in a line, right? You're waiting in a line and you see Globe and you see all these gossip stories. And Prince Harry is really feeding them with a lot of gossip stories. And this is, I don't know how far it's going to go, but this is amazing.
Absolutely. It's going to be interesting to see the second section, and then it's going to be interesting to see how things are going to go after all this revelation.
All right. So now it's time for us to take a break because we're just reaching the time limit. We'll talk about inflation percentage, which is down in India. We're going to talk about the next week. But the story I want to bring in is FIFA World Cup and Sunday's final. Right, by the time I guess the third repeat of the show that you watch, finals would have been over. It's Argentina versus France. I wanted to see Argentina, Lionel Messi in it, and it's in there. France is a defending champion, so they're going to go out and defend themselves. And Argentina, Lionel Messi wants to win that World Cup. I guess the last time he hasn't won it, but this is the only time that he has in his career.
And probably this will be his last World Cup. So go Argentina, and I hope the best.
You know what FIFA stands for? Football in France, Argentina.
Absolutely.
That's it. There you go. Football in France, Argentina. So may the best team win, and let's see what happens. But the best team of myself and AJ always brings you the latest right here on ITV Go, the Business Talk with AJ. Thank you so very much for your time. Thank you for your input. With that note, I'm Sanjeev Pandya, wishing you all happy and lucky days ahead. See you all next week, same place, same time. So long.